guys, Jen Johnson here. We are talking about content creation. Now let me just tell you, by the end of this video, the words "I don't know what to talk about" should never fall from your lips again. There is so many different ways to go out there and create content, but you don't want to just aimlessly create random content and give all this value, but it doesn't really lead to anything. You have to learn how to direct people in a way that's going to lead them to your product or service so that you get into profit. There is, again, so many different ways that you can go about doing this. I'm going to spat off a bunch of different ways to you right now. I'll even put some text below so you can see it. Take notes and know that you're never going to run out of ways to create content and value. You just have to know your resources, and you need to know what kind of message you're looking to deliver. First, let's start off with all the different ways that you can create content. There is creating the content, but then there's a way to deliver that content message. So you can do that through social media posts, through blogging, through email marketing, through creating a podcast, through video marketing. You can create articles, you can do events, you can do webinars, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. So really, again, what you want to do is figure out what way do you want to be delivering that message to your audience. What is the way that works best for you? That doesn't mean don't ever try video because you're scared to do it. Let's figure out if you're good at it. Let's figure out if it's a muscle that you need to build that you're really actually going to do really, really well on video. If it's not video, maybe you'd rather do a podcast or just do weekly webinars. It's totally up to you how you want to deliver this content. Obviously, everybody does social media posting and things like that. I know blogging is really big. So however you want to do it, you need to know how you're going to be delivering your messages. For me, I do a few different things. I write to my list, I create blog posts, and I also do Facebook Lives, and I put my stuff up on YouTube. I'm very heavy video marketer. That's my main strategy of how I create my content and deliver it to my audience. Now, once you figure out what it is you want to do, I highly suggest you start doing research on that topic. For example, if you decide you want to go into being a very blog savvy and become a blogger, you need to go discover a lot of blogs that are in your niche and see how people are doing things and what people are resonating with and what styles you like. I'm constantly looking at people's blogs and thinking, oh, this would be such a great idea for this section of my blog, or oh, I like how they did that. It gives me ideas. It gets my juices flowing and makes me think about other things that I can do to better beef up my blog and make it look a lot cooler or make it be more valuable. You want to be always getting your juices flowing. So if you want to become that blogger, if you want to be a great video marketer, study people who are great at video marketing and go out there and subscribe to some amazing YouTube channels. If you want to do webinars, watch webinars. There's tons of free webinars out there. That's how I learned how to do webinars, was I would watch a ton. I watched them so much that subconsciously it just got into me the order in which I was supposed to do things. Like when you get on the webinar, what do you do? What do you say? How does this work? How do you end it? I mean, it was just so natural to me because I had watched so many of them. It didn't really occur to me that I had to even practice or try to figure out how to do it. I just knew how to do it because I studied it. You want to be a student of whatever it is you're looking to master. So when it comes to creating content, there's so many different ways you can do this. Obviously, using that method is one way. If you want to be a great video marketer, study people that do it, right? If you want to do great email marketing, subscribe to some email newsletters and watch how people write. Rewrite those emails and see what style you resonate with. And if you really connect with it, your audience probably will too, because your audience is typically a lot like you. Now, when it comes to content creation, there is so many ways you can go about doing this. I do recommend two things. First, you need a content journal. You're going to want to write down your ideas as you come across cool posts, as you come across trainings that you're listening to. I was listening to a training last night. I had a slew of quotes and ideas and things I could talk about, not necessarily taking that exact content, but it got me thinking, this would be a great topic, and this would be a cool thing to share with my newsletter. So you want to have a place to write all that stuff down. The other place that I use to write things down digitally, if I'm out and about, is Trello.com. I like to gather all of my information there and keep it organized and sort it. If you're really a green personality, Trello is for you. And then from there, once you have places to gather that information, I want to encourage you to spend 1 hour, just 1 hour per week, prepping your content for the week. Now, in order to prep your content for the week, you need to know how you want to get into profit. So figure out what that is, reverse engineer that idea so you know what to offer on the front end that leads to how it is you want to profit. Then you spend that hour doing your research. You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to YouTube videos, you can listen to webinars. YouTube and Google are going to be your best friends. So now that you have your topic or you know how you want to profit this week, start Googling different content ideas. Another great way is storing email lists, subscribing to people's newsletters. I actually have a Ray Higdon folder, and I have a Diane Hockman folder, and I have a Caesar and Tanya Eliza folder, and every time they send me emails, I'm putting them in their folders. So if I want to go to a certain strategy, if I want to talk to people about email marketing, shoot, I know I can turn to Diane Hockman. She's the queen of email marketing. I can turn to her and say, okay, let me see some stuff that she's maybe talked about, or maybe go to Ben Settle. Ben Settle is great with email marketing. You got to know who your leaders are, what their strengths are, so that you can turn to them in times of needing inspiration, in times of needing to really know and get ideas of what you can talk about with your audience. The other thing is go onto social media and go on Facebook Lives and listen to what people are saying. Go around, type in some hashtags. Really look at what people are saying in threads that they're struggling with. Speak to that information, because if you hear they're struggling with it, they're obviously going to want a solution, and you can be that solution provider. Another really great way is by opting into people's funnels. If you opt into people's funnels, there is pain points and challenges and struggles all over those things. So opt in, and not just opt in to get whatever it is they're trying to teach you, but go in there and learn as a teacher. Go in there and with the thought process of like, okay, I'm going to relay this information soon, so let me see how they created this funnel. Let me see what they're saying in the copy, because a lot of times all of those struggles and those challenges and those pain points are something you're going to want to write down, and you're actually going to want to write it down in a separate journal. I use this journal to write down pain points, to write down struggles, to write down key words, power words. So that way when I am creating a funnel or a lead magnet or something, I can turn to this and say, okay, what would be a good way to approach this? And because remember, people buy based off emotion. So if you can emotionally get their attention, you're going to make a sale, okay? Hands down. Here is another one of my favorites, Pinterest. I love me some Pinterest because it's very visual, and you can see people's headlines really quickly. You're going to be able to see people's headlines right on the front of the picture. They're giving you training. If you search for ways to generate leads, or if you're searching for Facebook tips or Instagram tips on Pinterest, there's all these different articles that come up, but they're like magazine headlines, and you can click on it and get that information to get some ideas going. It's one of my favorite places to gather information, to go out there and create some content. Now, here is another one that most people would not think of, but I love Amazon. Amazon.com for creating content. If you go to the book section and you type in whatever it is, a lot of times I'll type in branding or I'll type in social media tips, and I go to the book section. All of those books are headlines, dude. They're all headlines. You get ideas from them. You can see, like, they talk about the struggle right in the headline. If you're looking at diet stuff, it's 25 ways to lose weight, 25 recipes to help you do this, they're giving all kinds of tips inside the headlines. So go there and do some research on Amazon and type in some books about some things that, I just picked up one yesterday on Twitter. I don't really focus so much on Twitter. I'm trying to get myself into it. And so I picked up a 99-cent book where I am going to be able to teach myself a bunch of stuff from this book, and then go out there and supply that and share that information, because now I am all the wiser 99 cents later. Isn't that so awesome? So definitely I suggest tapping into Amazon when it comes to content creation. And here's the deal, we're still not done. I have more ways for you to create content. So again, I don't know what to talk about cannot fall from your lips anymore. You have to remove that from your vocabulary. Okay, so here's the next thing. Books, okay? Quote books, okay? This book is filled with quotes that I can create memes and images out of. So anytime I'm laying in bed, I can grab my quote book and I can dive in and just make 10 different images, super easy peasy, and be done with it. Books are another great way to create and go out there and curate content, okay? A lot of times, if I'm reading a book, I have a highlighter next to me, FYI. I highlight up and down my books when I see something as a reader, as someone who's constantly wanting to make content on social media. If I'm at the movie theater, okay, and I hear someone say a line in a movie, I write it down. I'm like, that's a great quote. That's a great post. If I'm in a book, I can literally open up this book to anywhere and I can say, don't blame your circumstances. They may be the reason you are where you are, but that doesn't give you the right to stay there. That is a great post, right? I even highlighted it so I could come back later when I'm ready to do some content creation and I can look at all the things I highlighted because I know the things I highlighted I really resonated with, and it's something that is a potential post or a potential topic for a video or a potential topic for a webinar, or you can incorporate it into anything that you want to do. Anyway, any blog post that you create, you always want to give credit to the people, by the way, if you're taking one of their lines. Sometimes I'll rephrase it in my own words or something like that, but typically it's just such a great quote. I give the person credit because I want to just go out there and curate content and give people the best of the best when it comes to value. Now, the other thing that you can do is pick up some magazines, which I highly suggest you go do like yesterday, okay? Go get magazines. If you haven't noticed, magazines are full of content, okay? And here's the best part. There's a magazine for every niche out there. If you're into travel, if you're a parent, if you're into skincare and beauty, Cosmopolitan's a great one. There's style, there's fashion, there's health and wellness, fitness magazines, health magazines, anything that you are into. There's Success magazine, there's Forbes magazine, okay? It does not matter. Whatever niche you're in, there is a magazine for your niche, and you need to be picking them up on a regular basis to stay on top of what's trending in your niche. The magazines do all the work for you. They even give you the headlines right on the cover. Right on the cover, there's magazines, Save Money Without Sacrifice. The real secret to sex appeal, right? There's 5 ways to get what you want under the tree. Well, it says under the tree and in bed, but whatever you want to put. This is like 5 ways to do this, how to do that. And if you look through the magazine, okay, worst dates ever, this is going to be for, someone that's more into like the women beauty kind of thing. But you can even ask someone like, hey, what's your sign? Like, what's your horoscope? I'm going to read you your horoscope today, right? You can have a lot of fun with that. Even the articles that are in here, people say they want a career that's sexy, but that's not how you find your bliss. This is an article, and that's a headline right there, right? That's a headline right there. So you can read this article and go out there and curate that content and share it with people, right? So I know you're going to go pick up some magazines today. You're probably going to go pick up a quote book or two as well because these are great. I have like a little teeny tiny one. I have a little tiny, I don't know where it's at. Oh, here it is. I pick up little tiny, this like a little believe in yourself book, and I can open this up and it just says, let old dreams fade into the night so new ones can rise with the dawn. I have, if you go to Hobby Lobby or, places that sell these little calendar things, right? I flip this open. It is curious, but if one smiles, darkness fades. Start by doing what's necessary, then what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible, right? I can every day flip this bad boy over and have a new post. Crazy, right? You do not ever, ever, ever need to run out of content, and you can go out there and create your own awesome branded images with doing these techniques. It's really, really simple. And I really, really hope from this point forward, you're not going to have any questions about how to go out there and build an awesome brand, creating your own unique content.